people believing that the U.S. was so broken, that the political system was so corrupt, so sclerotic, is what got us Trump. Most people that voted for Trump thought that democracy was more important than the people that voted against it.
Right.
Because for them, the idea, and it's in the polls. They read, not most people didn't think that the election was about democracy, but for those that did, more than voted for Trump than voted for Kamala in the last election. And it's because those people thought that the deep state, the administrative state, the system was so broken, just like my mom used to. My mom, when she was alive, she didn't finish high school. She cared a lot about me and my brother. That was her whole life. And she's like, these guys will never take care of you. Not the government officials, not the CEOs, not the bankers, not the media, none of those fancy people. I got to fight for everything. And if I have to steal, I'll steal because it's my kids, right?
Yeah.
And I, you have so many Americans over the past decades that feel that way about the government. That's what got you Bernie. It's what got you Mamdani. It's what got you Trump. It's the same thing. Why did Trump decide that he was going to welcome Mamdani in the White House? Because fundamentally, he gets that that's part of what got him there.
Yeah. He said, like, we agree on a lot of stuff.
Sure. Both in principle saying we want to stick it to the man. Now, Trump, of course, is also the man. So he's sticking it to himself.
It's
really
amazing
impressive.
that he's able to occupy both roles.
He tries.
Yeah, no, in people's eyes is that he goes, I am the persecuted, and yet I exist in the realm of the persecutor. Like it's an interesting dichotomy that he gets to occupy in that way.
Look, when I saw the felony convictions and the mugshot, that's when I was convinced Trump was going to win.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Because that made him seem like it is, the deep state is a thing, or
it can happen to anyone.
The system was out to get him. Like of all of the bad things that he did, of all of the real political cases that were out there and should have been brought, of the impeachments that were real, the Republicans that said no mas, right? It was the most ridiculous case that would not have been brought up as felony charges against another American that was politicized against Trump. That's where he got his felony convictions. And, his entire election was a grievance-based election. It's like, they're coming after you. I'm standing in front of them, let them come after me. And they do want to take him down, right? And he was almost assassinated. And it was this close.
It's this world of like everything. It's interesting that you say the thing about same, because I've seen people bristle at that comment. If you say Bernie and they go, how can you say? But AOC had a live on her Instagram, I think it was after, I think it was the midterms. I forget which election it was, but she had done really well. And most Democrats hadn't. And then she asked just her followers online, she said, have any of you voted for me and for Donald Trump? And if so, please tell me why. Because, she was sort of posing this question. She went, it seems like we're completely different. How would you vote for me and him? I don't understand that. And it was fascinating to see the responses that people gave. They said, while the two of you are not politically aligned, you both agree that the system is broken. And you both present yourselves in an authentic way. Not honest necessarily, but authentic, which was an interesting semantic difference. And they were like, and we like that you both disrupt what was because it wasn't working for the rest of us. And that was an interesting insight to get from people themselves, to say, oh, we're now living in a time where America especially, but in the rest of the world, you're seeing it as well. The system has pushed people so far that they're no longer incentivized by what's safe, because it hasn't brought them safety, it hasn't brought them security, it hasn't brought them sustenance.
The American dream no longer works for them.
So they've gone, so then let's break it.
More Chinese believe in a China dream today than Americans believe in an American dream.
Is that true?
That is absolutely true, and that was not true when you and I were kids. So that's a radical transformation. We started this part of the conversation by you saying, can you still do things in the United States? Trump is living proof you can still do things in the United States. Number one, him personally, with the greatest political comeback in American history.
Truly.
But beyond that, I would argue that we are in the middle of a political revolution right now. Trump is intending to ensure that there are no more checks and balances on his behavior as the executive of the United States. We see that with the way he is trying to weaponize the so-called power ministries, the IRS, the FBI, the Department of Justice, to do his will in a way that he thought they were weaponized against him. You see that with his efforts to ensure that the principal enemy to the United States are his political adversaries. And that's a political revolution. I don't know that he's going to be successful. And personally, I hope he's not. But I do hope he's successful in eliciting sufficient pushback from people that want to really change things.
Okay. That's interesting. Just this idea of inspiring some sort of movement, some sort of idea, some sort of help us understand like how to even begin thinking about these things.